Hi, my name's Rebecca. Sometimes students want very much to learn advanced vocabulary, but in the process, they forget about learning some basic everyday vocabulary, which you also need to describe everyday life. So in today's lesson, we'll focus on the verbs you need to describe some common activities around the home, and you're going to help me with this, okay? So when you get out of bed, what do you need to do to the bed? If you want your room to look nice, you need to make the bed, okay? That's the correct expression. What about the dishes? After you've eaten, you have a big mess in the kitchen and you say, I need to do the dishes is the most common expression, okay? Now, of course, with the dishes, you could do some other things. You could say, I need to wash the dishes, but usually do the dishes means that. You could say you need to dry the dishes, but this is the most common expression, okay? If you're lucky enough to not have to do the dishes by hand and you have a dishwasher, then what's the verb for what you do to put the dishes inside? Do you know the verb? I need to load the dishwasher, okay? Or unload the dishwasher, or empty the dishwasher, okay? But when you're putting the dishes inside, you say, I need to load the dishwasher. Next, okay, you've prepared the food and you need to now make the table look very nice. Put the plates and the glasses and the cutlery. So you need to do what to the table? Before you eat, you need to set the table, okay? That's the correct expression. Now, after you've finished eating and you need to take all of the dirty dishes back to the kitchen, so you need to do what to the table? You need to clear the table, okay? That's after you eat. Next, for the carpet. What's the verb you can use to say that you need to clean the carpet? We don't really say clean the carpet. We usually say to. Starts with V. Vacuum the carpet, okay? Next, it could be also the carpet or the rug, all right? Next, the clothes. So what do you need to do to the clothes? Well, with clothes, you could do a number of different things. You could say, I need to wash the clothes. I need to iron the clothes, for example. I need to fold the clothes, all right? Next, you haven't cleaned the furniture in a long time and there's something on top, and if you put your finger, you can write in it. So what do you need to do? You need to dust the furniture because there's dust on it. But the expression we use, the verb we use, is to dust the furniture. Next, how do you clean the floor? What verb can you use to describe that? So, you could say, I need to sweep the floor with a broom, sweep the floor. And if you're cleaning the floor with something wet, then we say, I need to mop the floor, okay? That's if it's wet, this is if it's dry. Next, which verb do you use to describe the laundry? Okay, which one? I need to do the laundry. Good. What about the trash? Okay, I need to, you could say I need to empty the trash, I need to take out the trash, all right? Depends on the situation. Now, if you go a little bit outside your house and you have a lawn, which means the green grass outside your house. So what's the verb for that? To cut the grass. We don't usually say to cut the grass. We say to mow, M-O-W, to mow the lawn, okay? And in general, all of this described what? What were you doing? I need to clean the house, okay? I need to, another verb we sometimes use, not as much at all, but we use it, to tidy. To tidy up means to clean up, but it's when it's not very messy. To clean usually means the whole bit, everything, all right? So sometimes knowing these basic words can also help you make breakthroughs in English. English is about little words and advanced words and beginner words, and it's a whole mix of things. So if you subscribe to my channel every day, watch a little bit, you will definitely improve your English. I've helped thousands of students in classrooms and online, and I can help you. Okay? So watch our YouTube channel and also on engVid. You can go to www.engvid.com and you can do a quiz on this and many other English topics. Thanks very much for watching. Good luck with your English.